It's not all that unusual to be loved by. It's not unusual to be told, look, man, here's a thing that is kind of part of your job, and we need you to make sure that you're doing that thing routinely because it's part of your job. But this Kyler Murray contract story has got me LOLing something hard right now. This Kyler Murray contract
I don't wanna.
In fact, Lonzo, I'm going to jump right into it here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Clip number 1. My name is Rob Brown. He's Lonzo. And the next voice you're going to hear is that of NFL insider Ian Rapaport. And the reason you're going to hear it is because this Kyler Murray contract update has me cackling, laughing. I don't know why it's so funny. It really shouldn't be. In fact, it should pretty much be standard. But here's Ian Rapaport telling us what the one catch in Kyler Murray's fat contract is. This is Ian Rapaport.
Meanwhile, another interesting contract situation. Kyler Murray, of course, officially signed his $230.5 million contract. It is now official. It is done, which means we can get a look at some of the language. And there is a clause in there that is fascinating. It is essentially an independent study clause. There's a picture you see of Kyler signing. The clause that I'm talking about now essentially guarantees, forces Kyler Murray in writing to study at least 4 hours per week on his own independent study of game film. Now, teams can check their tablets and see if players are studying. They can see if players are doing the homework. A lot of teams do that and keep track of it. That is essentially what the Arizona Cardinals are doing. They're saying if he does not study for 4 hours per game week, then he is in default of his guaranteed money. Now, from my understanding, obviously this is something that any player would want in a contract, but Kyler Murray certainly understood how important it was for the Arizona Cardinals to know that he is making the same commitment to them as they're making to him. So he agreed, and that is why there is some give and take in contract.
So, Kyler, in his guaranteed stipulations, is being mandated to study game film 4 hours a week.
Kyler, go upstairs and do your homework right now.
That is exactly what my thought was. Kyler, if you want to use the Xbox tonight, you better make sure your history and English homework is done. Kyler, if you want to go play with your friends at the birthday party this Saturday, your science project better be knocked out before then. Absolutely spectacular. You know, I had gotten on Alonzo for a while for making fun of Kyler. And predominantly it's been because Kyler is, you know, a little dude.
It's not just a bit about that. They show him pouting all the time with his bottom lip out. That's why I do that. Have you seen that? That lip comes out, man. He is pouting. His stature adds to it, but he acts like a little kid, which is fine because I act like a little kid myself. But still, Kyler's pouty.
So, Kyrie, who gets talked down upon for being a bit immature.
I'm spreading the sage.
That's fine. Kyrie, who gets knocked for being a little bit less than what you're looking for in the fortitude of a professional quarterback, in order to earn his guaranteed contract money, Kyler Murray has to do his homework every week. And from what we inferred from that clip from Ian Rapaport, the Cardinals will be logging on to his iPad to make sure that he's got enough study time. No, Kyler, you can't just knock down Candy Crush the whole time. You've actually got to get in there and look at some game film.
You know he's playing Candy Crush and Angry Birds.
100%.
Yeah, he is.
And listen, don't get me wrong. Rob Brown is a mobile game guy. I'm playing the one, I forget what it's called, but it's the match game that Ryan Reynolds hyped on the internet a couple of years ago. It's like Tune Match or something. It's dumb as hell, but Ryan Reynolds got it on my phone, and now I'm addicted to it, and I acknowledge it, right? Recognition is step one.
I'm like level almost 600 on Dragon Ball Dokkan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of play. You gotta play a lot to get to level 600. So
I absolutely am like level 52 on Pokemon Go. I haven't played it in a while, but when it dropped, I was big. Help me burn some calories, man. Zoe and I am both on Diablo Immortal right now, and I've been hooked on that. I'm not against the mobile games. I'm just saying, Kai, if you are an NFL quarterback looking down the barrel of a $150 million contract, maybe don't be in a spot where the team's like, now Kyler, you're a big boy, Kyler. You're a big boy, and you know what big boys do? They do their homework before they play. Kyler, you know, you got that big play date coming up this weekend with Matt Stafford, but if you want to get out there and play with Matt at the play date, you got to make sure that your history homework is done before Saturday night. I freaking love it, dude. I love it. I can't even tell. I don't even know why I love it. I just am over the moon that a $150 million contract comes with a homework clause.
all right, there's some Big Brother aspects to this. The fact that they can tell if you've opened your tablet and you've done your work. I mean, that would kind of bother me a little bit as a millionaire adult, but he signed the contract. So that means if he hadn't agreed to it, he would not be playing, right?
I mean, I have to say.
So
I mean,
he
obviously
knew
had
that
to
was a
sign the
stipulation.
contract, yeah. He had to know that was coming.
Unless his agent told him later.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Kai, I just assumed that you were going to be cool with watching 4 hours of homework. And Kai's like, I don't want to watch game film. I want to play PlayStation.
Come on, you can find a way to loop the video and get a buddy to watch it for you so you can go out and do whatever you want. I mean, you know.
So here's the thing, and I don't know that they're using this since this is totally unrelated, but I feel the urge to bring it up because that's how the show works. There is a new software that some corporations have been using, Zoe. It is a new software that while you are working remotely, you have to turn your webcam on, and it tracks your eyes to make sure that your eyes are actually on the computer screen so that you can't just like sign into your remote access and then, you know, go watch Judge Judy or knock down some Choco Tacos, which, by the way, if you're a Choco Taco fan, I have terrible news for you coming up soon.
Which bothers me because I've never had one. And yeah, anyway.
You are, with the kids call, S out of L, buddy. Boat out of luck.
There's a gas station somewhere. I mean, you know.
Yeah, they stopped making Choco Tacos, but they're going to exist for another 7 to 10 years. Kyler has a homework clause. Now, I don't know if the Cardinals are going to use that thing. Like I said, I doubt it. I just wanted to bring it up. There is software now that uses the webcam to track your eyes, to make sure that your eyes are actually on the computer screen doing work, which is like, all right, that's, what's the word I'm looking for here? Terrible? Anyway, Kyler, if you want to go play on Sunday, make sure your history homework's done, buddy. In a world where your computer follows your every movement, one man decided to risk it all. Rob Brown is the procrastinator.
Wow.
I wish I had a better movie trailer voice.
I was going to say, that's a historically accurate thing right there. That was awesome. So this is just another way that they can keep track of you.
This is literally they keeping track of
Yes,
you.
it is.
I ordinarily make fun of the they, like who are they that you guys keep being afraid of. But this is one of those that we can identify the they. Your boss is watching your eyeballs to make sure they're where he wants them to be.
You know, this is kind of
cool.
It's kind of ironic from someone who's got a camera on him 6 days a week. So I mean, at least for a few hours a day, 6 days a week, they know exactly where I am and what I'm doing.
True, but that's volunteer. We volunteered to do the stream, right? Well, we were voluntold to do the stream.
All right, so I
actually like the stream. The stream's fun.
I started doing the stream as protest, then it caught on in the building, and then once we did it once here, it's required. Let's try going a week without it.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's required now
because of us.
Yes. Once you do something and they go, "Oh, that's cool. You're
Now
doing it again tomorrow,
do
right?"
that.
Yeah. So okay.
So the day that they implement the eyeball watching tech on our computers is the day I quit the stream. Can't do it. It's creepy. You guys can watch me like a human zoo. What? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 hours of my life every week are broadcasted live to the internet. 19 hours a week. You can watch me.
And see, I've got 17. So
Yeah.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah. It's weird. Anyway.
We chose to, but now we have no choice.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah. Whoops. Anyway. Dig it. Kyler's got homework. I don't know. Why do I find that so hilarious, Lonzo? What is about that story that is so damn funny to me?
It's because of, I mean, you'd never see Tom Brady sign a contract like that, because then everyone would see how he cheats. But, or at least, well, the people in charge probably already know. So what happens if he breaches? Let's say he looks at 3 hours and 45 minutes. What happens? What are the consequences? Does he run extra sprints? I mean,
by definition, he forfeits the contract.
So is he off the team?
I don't know. Do the Cardinals take
Or,
it that far?
or do they start taking money away? I think that's probably what it would be.
I would assume that one. I would assume that it's, hey, man, you hit 75% of your study time this week. Therefore, we are going to pay you 75% of your contract money this week. Right? But I got to tell you, if I'm a Cardinals fan, jokes aside, if I am a Cardinals fan, I'm super not thrilled about this. I'm super not thrilled that my team is being led by a dude that is mandated to watch 4 hours of game film. Not 40, not 14. 4 hours of game. Lonzo, how long is an NFL game?
3 hours.
3 to 3.5 hours. My man, I'm barely asking you to watch as much football as your fans watch, right? The majority of NFL fans watch probably what? 7 to 9 hours of NFL football any given week. They watch their team. They might watch one other big game and then a few minutes of other games in the middle, right? You're barely getting asked to watch as much as your fans watch of you. And they had to write that into a contract? Dude, if I am a Cardinals fan right now, I am super not thrilled about this contract. I went from like, okay, I understand. I rationalized it last week by saying, hey, look, you've got 7 other quarterbacks in the league better than Kyler Murray, maybe 7. And in the NFL, you have got to have the best QB available. It is not an option. So it's not so much we will pay Kyler this much to be our quarterback. It's we will pay this much so that it's not anybody else.
But why? How did this get out, and why did they let it get out on purpose to put extra pressure on him? I mean, this is it's embarrassing for him, for sure, because it's saying that they don't believe he'll do it, so they had to put it in the contract to make him do it. That's saying in the past he hasn't studied his playbook enough, studied film and all the things that he needs to do to be prepared every week. They're saying Kyler Murray was not ready to play last year, or his entire career so far. You don't put that in a contract unless you believe he hasn't been pulling his weight like he should.
I mean, if they had to write into his contract to hit him in the wallet, the most vulnerable place anybody is, to hit dude in the wallet, right?
Some guys get no motorcycles, no speedboats.
Kyler you have to do the thing that every other quarterback and football player does anyway, right? Hell, I would assume that most NFL players watch 4 hours of game film just in regular team activities, right? Now, in fairness, I don't know if this is for additional hours, right? Like Kyler's got to watch game film with the coaches and then go home and watch 4 more hours, right? I got no idea. But I assume most players are watching 4 hours of game film every week, including the offseason.
All right, this is going to take you a moment, but someone's cooking sausage in the building.
I don't have it yet.
Yeah, you'll get it in a second. I'm more acute with my smell, but someone's cooking sausage. It's unfair.
It is kind of messed up. Let's take a break. What do you guys think about this Kyler Murray contract? Kyler has homework that he has to do if he wants to get paid. That's so damn fantastic. Texter said, fan. In other words, Kyler, take out the trash or no allowance. Are we serious here? That's literally what it is. It is literally do your homework or no allowance. That's literally what this is. And I'm using the word literally here. Texas says, this reminds me of the Jamarcus Russell blank CD story. It really is, except Kyler Murray's multiple years deep into the NFL now. Right? All right, we got to take a break back after this. Rob Alonso, we got plenty more. We got some golf, some NASCAR, some soccer, and some college football all coming up on the show. Plus, Panther Camp starts tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. So we got some stuff to talk about there, too, on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
QC.
All right, stream, don't go anywhere. Got to read, and then I'm right back. Hang out. horrible news on the I like to grab a snack from the gas station front, as it has been announced that the Choco Taco es no más, amigos. A representative for Klondike has confirmed with People.com that the ice cream truck establishment is no longer going to be produced. It has been out for roughly 40 years. And according to a rep for Klondike, the Choco Taco was entirely discontinued in July due to an unprecedented spike in demand for different Klondike products over the past 2 years. The taco-shaped frozen treat. You've never had a Choco Taco, you told me.
Not that I'm aware of. Now that you say they come in ice cream trucks, maybe when I was a little kid, but yeah. I don't recall.
The Choco Taco, for those of you who have never had a Choco Taco, this is your 2-minute warning to get yourself down to the gas station and grab whatever supply they have left, right? The Choco Taco is a waffle cone shaped like a taco shell, stuffed with vanilla ice cream with chocolate fudge frozen along the top of it to seal the ice cream in, and peanuts sprinkled into that. Now, I'm not a big peanuts on my ice cream guy. I'm just not. But the Choco Taco was a mainstay back at Shalimar Elementary School when you got out of school and you went back to the house and the ice cream truck came to the neighborhood. The Choco Taco was a frequent pick of a young Rob Brown.
All right, we had you had 1%er.
No,
ice cream
trucks are not 1%.
Oh yeah. You probably had soft serve. You had a soft serve ice cream truck.
We had Shibberts.
Yes, you did.
Ice cream trucks are not a 1%er feature. They are literally Americana.
I guarantee you that your ice cream trucks were nice. Ours was
no.
There were a couple different.
Listen.
Some served something other than ice cream, and we avoided those. I did. Other people in the neighborhood, not so much.
It's probably the fat boy was talking about.
It could have been.
Listen, the ice cream truck in my neighborhood back in the day, let's put it this way. If it didn't have ding-ding-ding-ding playing over the speakers, your parents would have told you, don't talk to the guy driving that van because he's going to kidnap you and torture you for a couple of months, right? The ice cream truck in my neighborhood had the same stickers on it that it had on it when they put them on the truck in 1971. All right? It's not a 1%er thing to have had
I find it hard to believe. Your ice cream truck was being driven by a guy named Brad. I mean, it's like, would you like soft serve? Would you like some sprinkles? You look like a sprinkles guy.
Yeah, and they put the sprinkles on one at a time so that they were exactly where you wanted them. The Choco Taco was a frequent pick out of the old ice cream truck, right? You started off with the Mickey Mouse head on a stick, right? You know that one. It was the vanilla ice cream with just a hard chocolate shell shaped like Mickey. You could also get the Ninja Turtle ice cream stick, which was one of the Ninja Turtle heads, and the nose of the Ninja Turtle was a piece of bubble gum that by the time you ate the ice cream around the bubble gum, the bubble gum was rock hard. It's like chewing a pebble, right? And then there was the Choco Taco, which was a mainstay. It was a go-to, and now they're telling me that there is such a demand for other Klondike products that the Choco Taco is no more. I have a hard time believing that unless I'm just about to have a you damn kids ruin everything moment, which I might be.
Well, I've never seen a Choco Taco in a store, so maybe they are. Like I guessed earlier, probably a gas station, because gas stations usually have that.
Oh, yeah, the Choco Tacos that come out of the floor tub of ice cream.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that little case that's on the side that has a couple different ones. So now I'm going to have to go try it, because I don't recall ever having one. And so you talked about the waffle cone on the outside. Is it chocolate all the way through? Or
no,
is it...
so it's a waffle cone. It is they pour chocolate, just like the Mickey Mouse ice cream chocolate, like the frozen chocolate fudge over the top, and then it's got peanuts in it.
So the crunchy chocolate.
Yeah, it's like a yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like frozen chocolate. So I went and I looked at, because this is the amount of trauma that this decision from Klondike has given me. I went and looked at what other Klondike bar products are available that would have killed the Choco Taco. And there's actually a larger selection than there was back in the day, right? They have the OG Klondike bar, the chocolate with vanilla. They have a Nestle Crunch bar. So it's got the rice or whatever. What is it? It's not rice, but it's rice-like. Anyway, they have a mint chocolate chip Klondike bar, which sounds, I'm not going to lie, god-tier food snack. A mint chocolate chip Klondike bar. I'm in. They have a Heath Klondike bar, double chocolate, so it's chocolate instead of vanilla ice cream. A Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Klondike bar. A dark chocolate, a no sugar option, a no sugar crunch, and a cookies and cream bar. That's all available. They also have like 3 ice cream sandwiches, including a Mrs. Fields chocolate chip cookie sandwich, which kind of looks delicious. They have got cones, like I guess they're making cones now. But some of them are like, they're just like Choco Tacos, but a cone instead of a waffle. And then they have a page dedicated just to the Choco Taco. And to prove I'm not alone in this, okay? To prove I'm not alone in this, if you go to the Klondike Bar website, you can, because the internet is stupid, you can actually rate every individual snack from Klondike on a scale of 1 to 5. So I went and looked it up. Lonzo, the original vanilla Klondike bar, has a 4-star rating from the people. The Crunch, 2.5. Mint chocolate chip, 4. Double chocolate bar, 4.5. Not a single bar, with the exception of the cookie and cream bar, has a 5-star rating. You know what the rating for the Choco Taco is? 5 stars.
Was it that before all this came out? Because I saw this morning when I got up and checked out social media. It was all over the place. This is a big deal, apparently. A lot of people upset about this.
It's a huge deal. Choco Taco, it goes up there with the Mickey Mouse ice cream bar in GOAT tier snacks that should never have been changed. GOAT tier snacks that should always be available, right? The zebra cakes are in that tier.
Listen, Twinkie got canceled at one point. Twinkies got canceled, and they brought it back.
Twinkie never deserved to be there.
All right. But still, what I'm saying is the fact that, so you don't think this is a marketing ploy to get people to demand Choco Taco's return? Maybe sales were down, so they're saying they're going to discontinue it just to see if there would be an outcry by all the kids who ate them, all the grown-ups who ate them as a child and want them back.
I mean, listen, I absolutely put it up that perhaps there's a huge freezer warehouse, a future warehouse full of an overstock of Choco Tacos. Because let's be real, the kids my age, we don't need the Choco Tacos anymore, all right? I used to be able to nail back some Choco Tacos when I was running 8 to 12 miles a day playing 3 different sports. A Choco Taco didn't hurt me at that point. 37, a Choco Taco just contributes to the absolute disgusting slob of a person that I am. I can't, and I probably don't even have a foot to complain on here, because I have not had a Choco Taco in years. But now that they're gone away, what do I want to do? I want to get off the air. I want to go down to the nearest QT, and I want to buy up every Choco Taco they've got in the freezer and bring them to the house. And eat them all till the last one, and hang on to that last one until the perfect day for the last Choco Taco to go down.
Will
so maybe it's a ploy.
Will that perfect day ever come, though? If you know you have the last one.
No. When I know I'm down to my last Choco Taco, there's never going to be a day where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll go ahead and do it now. Because you do it now, you know what you don't have the next day? A Choco Taco.
That's true. Do you look at the expiration date? Because I'm guessing they probably have one. And it's like eat it the day before the last day, or do you like eat it on the last day? Dairy does go bad after a while, even if it's frozen. So
I got nothing. Also, let's be real. What's in a Choco Taco ain't dairy. All right? It's not. All right. So anyway, listen, I know it's not sports, and I know it's early in the show. All right? But I need you guys to know that for those of you that were raised on the Choco Taco like me, have your last opportunity. I want you guys to know the Choco Taco es no mas, amigos. And so if you want one more run, you want one more crack at the Choco Taco, you better head down to your local gas station and buy up the freezer. Trey says, go buy up all the Choco Tacos and then ask people, what would you do for a Klondike Choco Taco? Yeah. Catchphrase switches. Lad says, R.I.P. Choco Taco, but the Flintstones orange push pop was my jam. Yeah, that's that. On the ice cream truck selection, the Flintstones push-up creamsicle was way to the top of the list.
they were just push pops for us. They didn't have Flintstones on the side of them.
Well, you were poor.
I don't know if they could afford the marketing
you
or
were
what,
poor.
but I think they started out as that, and then Flintstones, they added that later.
Lonzo had the Flint Rocks with Ted Flint Rock, the main character, and his cohort, Barney Pebbles. Texture says, wait, there's a Mickey Mouse ice cream bar, so you guys had money. No.
Absolutely. Thank you, Texter. I didn't want to do that.
The Mickey Mouse ice cream bar was available everywhere. Don't give me that.
I'm not so sure.
Listen, I hung out with the poor kids when I was a rich kid.
Wow.
All right? They had ice cream bars.
Wow. Down there with the rabble, slumming it.
Texas says, I told my kids if the ice cream van was playing music, it meant they were out of ice cream. No need to scramble for money. You're a terrible father or mother, whatever you are. You're a terrible person, Texter. A terrible person.
Our guys took food stamps, so we were good.
Texter said, Rob, fun fact, the Choco Taco was served at Taco Bell in the early 90s. I worked there in high school and remember the first time they came in and we started, let me go find the rest of that test because I have to read the rest of that. And we started selling them. Yeah, I don't remember Taco Bell dropping the Choco Taco. But I believe it. It makes perfect sense. All right, let me get Kevin in here real quick before we got to run to the break with his hot Choco Taco. Listen, I don't care who you are. The Choco Taco was in the rotation for you. Kevin, what's up, big dog?
Choco Taco was in the rotation, dog.
Thank you.
It was in there.
Thank you.
Every Friday in elementary, we got ice cream. And as long as they had Choco Tacos, I was in the game. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm good.
That was the pick.
Get me to this point before they get all gone.
Yo, it was Mickey Mouse ice cream bar, Ninja Turtle ice cream bar, Flintstones push-up pop, or Choco Taco. Those were the four go-to. You had the knockoff one that was like vanilla in a cone dipped in peanuts, which was just a worse version of the Choco Taco.
Hey, listen. Now my ice cream truck, we had the ices. You remember the long pack? They got the ices now in the little party packs for the kids at the birthday party. But this bad boy had been about 3 feet long back in the day, and it was either red, green, purple, or orange.
And they didn't ask what flavor do you want, it's what color do you want.
What color do you better
Yep.
not go in there and say you want cherry? We don't know what cherry is.
You get red!
Red.
That's right. See, Kevin gets me.
I get it all day long. But I'm telling you right now, I got a story about the Choco Taco is also like the little Nutty Buddy, right? So the little waffle cone that it come in, you know, it's got chocolate at the bottom of it when you finally get to the bottom. Just like the Choco Taco, it has it on the top, but this is on the bottom. So me and the lady friend back in the day, and they say we are not together no more because of this situation. We're sharing the ice cream. I don't share my ice cream much, but I love you at this time, so I share my ice cream with you. The first thing she did was bit the chocolate off the bottom. I tell you what you can do. You can take this whole piece of ice cream and put it where you feel like putting it at, because I'm not eating that. Matter of fact, it is over. It is done. Right now.
That is a correct response. Kev, appreciate it, big fella. Good to talk to you, my
Who
guy.
who does that? Who eats the chocolate part of the no?
Sociopaths.
That's just wrong, man. That's like
Sociopaths do that.
buying a book and reading the last page. It's the same. I mean, the chocolate is the reward at the end of that kind of ice cream. Just like you were talking about the Mickey Mouse thing. I'm guessing that the gum was the prize at the end.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You save the gum for the end. And like I said, at that point, it's like chewing a pebble. But that being said, R.I.P. Choco Taco.
Lad said that's like cutting out the middle of the cinnamon roll first. You know, the part where the most.
It's the best way to eat a cinnamon roll.
You got to peel it.
Yeah, if you eat the crispy part of a cinnamon roll, no. Give me the gooey soft middle of the cinnamon roll. R.I.P. Choco Taco. We hardly knew ye. Back after this, actual sports conversations, probably. We are scheduled tomorrow at 10:30 to be joined live on the show by the great Paul Heyman of WWE, WCW, ECW fame. We will talk to Paul a little bit about, we got SmackDown here in Greenville Friday, and it's the go-home show for SummerSlam. And of course, Rob Brown won't be here.
But I got you covered. I'll be here. And we may have something for you next week, so stay tuned.
We may have something for you this week. We'll see. Didn't you say we had him this week, or was it just next week?
So I believe it's next week, yes.
All right, we won't tell you what the free ticket surprise is, but there's a chance free tickets that we'll be giving something away related to SmackDown next week. Paul Heyman joins us tomorrow at 10:30. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Pour one out for our fallen snack. Yeah, I'm just going to grab some Hershey syrup and pour it on the ground after the show in tribute.
No, he's gonna pour it in his mouth. It's not what he's gonna. Yeah.
I worked for Taco Bell for 10 years, and you know how many chocolate tacos I ate? You know how many chocolate tacos I ate in that time in the cooler? All of them, and that's why they're discontinued. Yeah, you're not telling me people don't still buy the Choco Taco. I'm not. I don't believe that.
Did you see the news about Justin Ross? I'm just now seeing this. Yeah, out for the season.
IR. Yeah, that sucks.
you see what I sent you on Twitter earlier?
Yeah.
The beatdown?
Yep. What a Fenway, baby.
Yeah, I almost want to believe that stuff's not real as staged because, you know.
I was taking some stiff ones to the jaw.
Yeah,
I was taking some stiff ones to the jaw. They weren't full power, obviously, because the guy was on his back, but he was landing them. They were flush. You are not alone.
I might have to call in sick tomorrow.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm just a little nervous. I shouldn't be.
No, you shouldn't be. You've done this before. Holly H. So, the first question is, I was at WrestleMania 30 when Brock beat Taker and ended the streak. And Paul genuinely had a look of shock on his face. Out of kayfabe, how much do you know about the matches that you were going to participate, that you're a part of? And B, how many times in your career does something happen in wrestling that you as a wrestling fan turn into a mark? Or are you just so deep into it now that nothing surprises you anymore? And you act that out? Because he genuinely looked like he was taken aback by that win. But it's also Paul Heyman. He may have been genuinely acting that out.
Sports Illustrated just posted Vince McMahon's retirement from the WWE last Friday was reportedly quickened due to federal investigations into reports that the 76-year-old has paid millions of dollars to cover up claims of sexual misconduct.
I saw that. Yeah, if the feds are involved, you got to cut it out.
Ooh. Baker Mayfield and Shaq Thompson arrive at Panthers training camp together. Or they just walked up together. I mean,
Right.
you know, so I guess technically it's together.
Oh, 2 cans of beer a day, and that you bleeding not. All right, let me clear something out of the way real quick. Baker Mayfield is starting week 1. All right? We good? We done? We got that out of the way?
Yeah, Sam, if you're listening, and you could be, and you should be, because you're in the upstate, and this is, you know, the station of record, the one you should be listening to. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not an insult, man.
Baker's just better.
Yeah. Here's why I bring that up. NFL Nation via ESPN put up their training camp preview, right? And the training camp preview effectively is a list of questions and answers for each team that they will have to put together during training camp. And I got a few of my own for the Carolina Panthers. But David Newton wrote up the Panthers prognostication for ESPN. Let me read you what he said here, Lonzo, and get your immediate knee-jerk reaction to it. He said, quote, Baker Mayfield won't be the starting quarterback, at least initially. This might come as a shock to the 91.6% on my Informer Twitter poll who predicted Mayfield would be the week 1 starter. But Sam Darnold has an entire offseason learning Ben McAdoo's system and the terminology to his advantage. Darnold is also healthy, while Mayfield is about 6 months removed from surgery to repair a torn labrum in his left non-throwing shoulder. He's on track to a full recovery, but that's still an obstacle to overcome. Darnold has nothing to lose for the first time in his NFL career, so he has less pressure than the top pick of the 2018 draft. Knee-jerk reaction to that?
Well, I forget where I saw it at, and I heard someone talking about Baker Mayfield and said he basically has photographic memory. And so as far as learning the playbook, if he indeed does have that kind of memory, as far as memorizing the playbook, he's good. Now, Darnold has more on-field experience with the current staff, but it comes down to talent and comes down to leadership, comes down to whether you see ghosts or not. And I don't believe that Baker sees those.
Yeah, not the impression I'm getting either. Here's something else I took away from that. Quote, Darnold has nothing to lose for the first time in his NFL career, so he has less pressure than the top pick of the 2018 draft.
Yeah, he has something to lose. His job.
Thank you.
That's,
ding, ding.
That's something to lose, I'm thinking.
Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Correct. Yeah, he's something to lose. His job. Remember, this is Darnold's contract year. This is it for Sam Darnold. And if Sam Darnold comes out and has another year like he had last year, do you think for a second that Sam Darnold is getting a fat stat contract in the National Football League in 2023? No! What do you mean he's got nothing to lose? He's got literally millions and millions of dollars to lose. He's got a starting job to lose. He's got what little, hey, we could probably salvage Sam Darnold left to lose. Sam Darnold got brought into Carolina. Why? Because people like me, and I eat this, I own this, because people like me went, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I kind of blame Adam Gase. I kind of blame the New York Jets. That's a dumpster fire of an organization. It's a dumpster fire of a coaching staff. It's a dumpster fire of a franchise. The Little Brothers of New York. And they ruined Sam Darnold. So bring in Sam, give Sam a crack at it, see what happens. He can be salvaged. He can be saved. How'd that go? Not great. It was okay for 3 weeks last year. Texter said, I think Sam should get the first 3 games to see how he does. I get that. If last year's first 3 games were also the back 14 games, Sam Darnold would have been in the Pro Bowl. But he wasn't, because after the first 3 weeks, all that went away, right? I mean, he led the NFL in rushing touchdowns through, 5 weeks? Here's the problem. Sam Darnold's not a rushing quarterback. You know why Sam Darnold ran in so many touchdowns?
He didn't have a choice.
Yeah. The offense fell apart because Sam Darnold held on to the football too long. Because Sam held on to the football too long. When he did, the offense fell apart around him, right? Baker Mayfield's the better quarterback. It with all due respect to David Newton and everybody else, I 0% understand how anybody thinks that Baker Mayfield's not the starter in week 1, unless the surgery and the rehab goes sideways. And remember, non-throwing shoulder, but still got to be able to use that to counterbalance.
They believed all the hate spread by ESPN and all their guys, Tannenbaum and all those guys, unless you believe all that, which you could. I mean, maybe you believe all that, but I just don't see it happening. Yeah. I know Cleveland fans, and they're sorry to see him go.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that Baker Mayfield's a Pro Bowler this year. To tell you that Baker Mayfield's a Hall of Famer. Hell, I'm not here to tell you Baker Mayfield's going to help you win the division. Brady's still around. What I am here to tell you is that Baker's a better quarterback than Sam. All due respect to Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback. He is the week 1 starter unless the rehab goes poorly. And you know when we're going to get to find that out? It starts tomorrow. I got some more training camp projections for the Carolina Panthers coming your way over the next few segments. Stick around, don't go anywhere. That's an hour in the books. We got 2 to go. Phone lines open, 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-326-3663. You can also text us on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, to 71307. Back after this for the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Grace said, remember that big cell phone Paul Heyman had? Yes, I do. The Zach Morris phone, man. You're creepy. Piano riff is so good.
No, Rob. It's creepy because that's Mr. Rogers' music. Creepy. I guess it's wrong for me. Every time I spell out Kyler Murray, I want to put Lil in front of it.
little Kyler. If we were going to do another little penny, who would be the athlete that gets a little penny?
I don't know.
I don't
There's
know who.
some things you should never. So obviously you're saying little Kyler. I don't know. I don't know that he has the kind of personality for that.
No, little Kyler would need a big Kyler.
Yeah, he would. How about a little Luca? Because I just think that would be kind of cool. I was going to say little Zion, but a lot of people would like to see that because it probably would help him, you know. We'll see them next week.
Not me.
I'll tell them you said hi.
No, we'll get mad if they're like on Friday. They're like, "Oh, by the way, so and so's coming by the building today."
It used to be
Watch it
the way.
happen.
Used to be the way. I don't know that it's not possible now because you know it is possible now. If it is, like I said, I'll tell them you said hi, and I'll
Yeah,
tell them
thanks,
that I can't tell them that we use them in the intro. I don't know if that's allowed or not.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. How do you do? Upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. What's happening, y'all? Going to be with you. I am Rob Brown. The great one, Lonzo, is directly on the other side of the board, the other side of the glass, metaphorically, the board, literally. We are glad to have you here with us for 3 hours of sports talk broadcasting excellence right here on the Fan Upstate. Carolina Panthers training camp starts tomorrow. We know that. And we know that the quarterback battle is the discussion that everybody is having right now. Do I wish that Carolina would have traded for Baker Mayfield about a month and a half before they did to give him all that extra time that Sam Darnold had learning the McAdoo playbook? Yes. And I wish they would have asked him to study 4 hours of film per week, but that's another story, literally.
All right, you know what's bothering me about, well, Sam Darnold's going to be the starter. If they're so sure that he's going to be a starter, why did the Panthers bring in Baker Mayfield?
Because the Panthers know he's not going to be the starter.
Right.
He's not.
And the members of the media and everybody else who just think, well, Sam's going to. No, if they were confident in him, they wouldn't have brought somebody else in. How do you not see that?
I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that I am of the belief that of the limited number of people who are putting out takes today of Sam Darnold will be the starter in week 1, I'm at this point considering 95% of those takes as click on me, click my link. I said something crazy, everybody. Click my link. Click here and find out why. And then what are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you exactly what this guy said. They're going to say, hey, Sam has been here longer and he knows the playbook better. Dude, you still have camp. Then you got like 3 more weeks. Then you got 3 weeks of preseason. I'm not arguing that Sam Darnold doesn't have more time with the playbook. I'm arguing Baker's got plenty of time with the playbook. If Sam Darnold starts week 1, I will be absolutely shocked. Absolutely shocked. How confident am I in that? Next week, we drop episode 1 of Views from Mint Street, the Carolina Panther podcast, brought to you by Odyssey and 2400 Sports, hosted by me. You're welcome. Anyway, I will be saying on that podcast, Topic 1, Show 1, Baker is the starter. No Moss questions. No more. There's none needed. He's the better option here. So unless you're playing for a better draft pick, that question was answered the minute Baker showed up in Charlotte. I suspect that on Saturday, for Fan Appreciation Day or whatever it's being called, anybody want to drop a bet that Baker gets at least as many reps with the first team as Darnold does? Anybody want that bet? Does anybody want to bet that Sam takes more first team snaps than Bake does? I'm not. I'm not taking that bet. Are you kidding me? It's a terrible bet. That's a terrible bet. Absolutely not. Bake will get as many first team snaps. Now, the first few days of training camp, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, those are going to be today is rookies and new guys. Bake showed up today, right? In Wofford. Today is getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, hoping that you like me. That's what today is. That's what tomorrow is. Thursday, they'll start working some stuff in. A lot of conditioning, getting some playbook stuff down. Friday, we'll be getting playbook stuff down. And Saturday, you'll start seeing the boys. And I'm making up this schedule, and I'm assuming that I'm accurate. Saturday will be the day that we start seeing the offense run with the offense, the defense running with the defense. We probably won't see any live fire drills, but we'll see the offense running first and second team. And I'll be willing to bet that Darnold and Baker take equal amounts of first team snaps.
The only thing I differ with you on is they'll see the field before then. They will.
But I think you'll be doing like walkthroughs.
Yeah, it'll be closed practices. No
Right.
one will be allowed to see it. But yeah.
Now, let me go ahead and make your argument for you. Well, of course, Rob, because Matt Rule wants to keep it a secret who the starter is, so he'll throw them both out there, and that way he can keep the secret. No, it's not a secret. The only people this morning telling you that Baker doesn't start week 1 are people who desperately need you to click their link. I, to my detriment, ladies and gentlemen, to my detriment, do not do clickbait radio. I should. I would probably be, with no disrespect to where I am, because I am thrilled with where I am. But if I was willing to do Mad Dog Russo radio, I'd probably be in a big city right now. But I got no interest in being in a big city right now. I like where I am because I like the way my show goes. I like the way our show goes. Anybody telling you that Baker is number 2 on the QB depth chart is just trying to get you to click something, man. Because here's the thing. It's not crazy unreasonable, right? It's not crazy unreasonable that Sam would start week 1. You got a Baker Mayfield coming off of a surgery. You got a Baker Mayfield that's learning a new offense. You got a Baker Mayfield that is getting the chemistry down with his new teams, his new guys, etc., etc. It's not an obscene idea that Baker Mayfield would be QB2 on the depth chart. But if you watch these cats the last 2 years, you know who the better quarterback is. It's not a question of if, it's a statement, right? So, all that being said, you can throw your numbers at me. I got numbers too. We can compare and contrast stats. But at the end of the day, Lonzo thinks that Matt Rule's got one more year after this one, correct?
Yes.
And I won't lie, he's kind of talked me into that a little bit. I think he might not be wrong. I think you might get one more regardless of the outcome of the season, unless you're like 2-15, right? But if you get back to 7 wins this year, I think you do better than 5. I think you're safe for one more year. I don't think he's wrong. But he's got to get to what, 6 at least? He's got to win 6. He's got to go 6-10 at the worst, right? And which one of those two cats today is more likely to get you to 6-10? I'm going to go with the guy who's done much better than 6-10 every year. And before you hit me with, better offensive line, better wide receiver, but you're probably not wrong.
Yeah, but you can throw all that out there, but it wasn't like that stuff just suddenly happened when Baker Mayfield got there. A lot of that was already there, and they couldn't find a quarterback to win with that. But he was able to do that. So he has experience of coming to a team that's mediocre or poor and bringing them up and taking them to the playoffs. Sam Darnold doesn't have that history.
Correct. Yeah. That's exactly it. A lot of the Browns pieces were in place when Bake got there, and Bake elevated them. I'm not saying he's going to do the same thing in Carolina. I'm asking right now, you put your paycheck on the line. Sam or Baker? You know, Lonzo, I very frequently when we have discussions like this, I've got some haughty intellectual phrases I like to break out. That which is presented without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. The default position is to not believe in a thing until you are presented with sufficient empirical evidence to believe in that thing. Lonzo, do you feel like we have enough empirical evidence, enough structural evidence, enough evidence that we can put on a TV and watch that Baker Mayfield is better than Sam Darnold, regardless of the team around them?
I believe that we do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's it. We have enough game film to look at these two guys and know that Baker's the better quarterback. Is it, you know, do you want the numbers? Do you want to compare Sam and Baker number v. number? Here's what I found when we do that. When we have on Rashad Beard, when we've had on Browns guys, when we've had these conversations about these two quarterbacks, and I put numbers on the table, you know, I get the responses of, oh, yeah, you know, you can make the numbers say anything you want. Baker had this guy and that guy. Baker had this wide receiver and that wide receiver. Baker had X and Y and Z. And Sam didn't. Sam was behind a bad offensive line with bad wide receivers, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm honestly, I'm not even really saying you're wrong, right? The Browns were better than the Panthers last year as a team. Of course they were. Nobody's shocked by that. But a chunk of the reason why. Rashad Beard asked not terribly long ago, if you flipped Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield last year, if you put Sam on Bake's team and Bake on Sam's team, which one has a better record than the other did? And the answer is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield. No question in my mind. Baker Mayfield. When it comes down to it, at the end of last year, if you flipped squads, I am 100% confident that the Carolina Panthers, 5-12, Lonzo, they win 2 more games.
Yeah, they do.
I am convinced that the 8-9 Cleveland Browns, if Sam Darnold's at the quarterback last year, lose 2 more games. Right? I'm convinced of it. Because there's just that much difference in talent. I've given the numbers 100 times. In fact, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I'm getting on the Panthers Reddit board, and I'm seeing discussions going on. Guys, should we start Sam? Should we let Baker ride? Should we let Baker get comfortable? No! And I can't believe I have to say that. He's the better option, man. Now, all that being said, what other questions need to get answered? What other players need to step up and step out? I got some more thoughts I'll give you coming up later on in the show. Also coming up, next up on the show, we won't spend a ton of time on it today, but I want to talk Trevor Lawrence today too, because Trevor has been given a gift. Trevor has been given a gift that the overwhelming majority of rookie quarterbacks do not get. And the question's going to be, what does he make of that gift? I'll answer that question when we come back. My name is Rob Brown. The great one Lonzo is on the other side of the board. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show. You're listening to The Fan Upstate.
Bunch of Panthers videos been dropped. I was just looking at those. No, you can't go. I gotta go. Go ahead. I'm just kidding. I'll take care of it. There, you are unmuted.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren foreign sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you.
Paid for something.
Or something. Ready for the bake show. You and a lot of other people. You and a lot of other people.
So I read rookies were just supposed to show up today, but it looks like everybody's showing up. Because there's a bunch of people showing up to Wofford right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's also rookies are mandated to be there, but, anybody and everybody can.
It looks like Shaq Thompson actually drove Baker Mayfield there, or he rode with him.
TL16 was handed a gift in his first year in the National Football League. Now, that gift comes with good connotations and bad connotations. It's kind of like being handed a really, really ugly jacket for Christmas, right? Like there's good and there's bad with it. The good is, hey, sometimes it's cold outside and maybe you need a jacket. And your other jackets are unavailable, so here's a jacket. The bad news is Grandma Ifelda gave you an ugly jacket, and now you are stuck wearing it at least once a year so that Granny Ifelda sees you wearing the gift that she gave you.
Is that your real grandma's name?
I did have an Aunt Ifelda.
Okay, because I've never heard that name. You don't just pull that out of somewhere.
I have Geraldine on one side, and I had Gail on the other. I had an Aunt Ifelda. In fact, I don't even know why I picked Ifelda. I haven't said or thought of that name in years.
It's a great name. It really is.
So on one hand, you get an ugly ass jacket, and you're stuck having to wear it once or twice a year. The positive is, hey, at least on the day you got to wear that ugly ass jacket to Grandma Ifelda's for Christmas, it's cold, so at least you got a jacket, right? Now, Trevor Lawrence got that kind of gift in year number one. And that gift was Urban Meyer. There's good news and bad news with that. The bad news is that Urban Meyer was so bad at his job that Trevor Lawrence's arguably most formative year was effectively wasted, right? Trevor Lawrence's rookie year in the league was a wash, and it wasn't because of him. But that is also the gift that Trevor Lawrence got handed. The gift is the overwhelming majority of people evaluating Trevor Lawrence and his rookie year in the league look at it and go, yeah, it wasn't great, but it was Herb, not Trevor, right? Herb was so bad at his job that Trevor Lawrence effectively got a year one pass. Not a lot of rookie quarterbacks come in and have a mediocre year one. And in a mediocre year one, people go, as a rookie, what do you expect, right? He's a rook. It's going to take some time. But a lot of rookie quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, have expectations heaped upon them from the day they step onto the franchise's grounds, right? So TL16 has a not great first year. But the majority of us in this business who talk about this, when we talk about TL16, we chalk the failure of year one up to Urban Meyer. We chalk the badness of the Jags last year to the absolute boat show that was the former Florida Gator turned Ohio State Buckeye turned Jacksonville Jaguar guy. The better news for TL16 is that the Jags went and got Doug Peterson. Doug is of a similar vein to Bruce Arians, is of a similar vein to Andy Reid. He's kind of known for knowing the strengths of the offense that he has. Last week on the way back from Charlotte, I had never been. I'd always wanted to go, but I'd never gotten that way with enough time to go. I stopped by Cowpens National Battlefield. If you've never gone there, despite it being less than 2 hours away, take a day roadie up to Cowpens and go to the battlefield. It was a site of a battle in the American Revolution. On one side, you had the United States militia, made up primarily of South Carolinians, but also some North Carolinians and some Georgians. And you had about 1,000 Continental soldiers, regulars, led by General Daniel Morgan. On the other side, you had Bannister Tarleton leading a regiment of soldiers of the army of General Lord Earl Cornwallis. Now, I bring this thing up because it's a direct analogy to what Doug Peterson, I think, can do for Herb or for Trev that Herb did not. That battle was between Bloody Bannister Tarleton, a guy who was known for ruthlessness and for showing no mercy. He showed up to the battlefield. Well, Daniel Morgan knew his troops better than Bannister knew his. And so Daniel Morgan did something that had never really been done before in 18th century warfare. What he did was he stacked his army in 3 separate lines, and he hid each one behind a hill from the next. So when Bannister Tarleton showed up on the battlefield, he rode up and he saw a line of militia. Now, traditionally in the Revolution, if you brought British regulars, like the 71st Highlanders, which were a part of that group, if you brought regulars up against militia, you demolished the militia because they had no training, right? They're just guys. They're just farmers, sharecroppers who happened to have a gun and decided to fight. And ordinarily, when they saw the British load bayonet and charge, they just ran for the hills, literally. So Bannister shows up and he sees a line of militia. Sharpshooters, primarily, riflemen. And these guys pick off a bunch of officers, but Tarleton knows, hey, these guys scatter easy. They scare easy. So he just bum rushes them. Just throws everybody forward. Well, the militia, the sharpshooters, did what they were supposed to do. They fired 2 shots. They retreated. Tarleton thinks I got him beat. He pushes forward through the first line. He gets across the top of a hill at Cowpens. And what does he come across when he catches where the skirmishers were? Now he catches a line of true militia. Guys with muskets, a few with rifles. But another hodgepodge group. The first group is gone. They have run for the hills. Bannister, who, by the way, was known for, again, ruthless aggression, right? What does he do with his troops? He rushes this line too. This line gets off a couple of volleys. This line takes out another handful of officers. By this point, they are down 2/3 of their officers. What are the officers? They're the head coaches. They're the quarterbacks on the field, right? They're the ones calling out the commands. The officers go down. So you got a ton of British regulars, but you got nobody leading them, and they're pushing up against another line of militia. And so what do they think? Rush the militia. When you rush militia, the militia break and run, you take the field, you win the battle. So they rush this. They take heavy losses on the way. But finally, they get to the second line of militia. That militia cuts and runs. They retreat. Well, as they retreat, and Bannister Charlton and his British regulars and cavalry come over the top of that hill, what do they find behind them? The third line. And what is the third line? About 1,000 Continental soldiers, regulars, guys who are trained, guys know how to not cut and run, guys who know how to fight the British regulars, guys who have their own bayonets to affix, to turn it into equal hand-to-hand combat. By this point, the Redcoats have no leaders. Their officers, 2/3 of their officers are dead at this point, right? So now they have equal numbers, except for the Americans have all their officers calling out commands, their tactical moves around the battlefield, whereas the Brits at this point, they're down to their last third of officers who cannot control the line. And at this point, the Americans just push forward. They push forward, and there's a lot more to it, but I'm giving you the nuts and bolts. Here's why I bring that story up. A, because I'm a huge nerd and I like it. It's a great battle. It is arguably the most important battle of the Revolution. It starts the race to the Dan River, which Cornwallis loses, which starts the battle at Guilford Courthouse, which is the beginning of the end because the Brits won, but they lost like 1/3 of their army at that point. They have to retreat back to Yorktown. We all know what happened at Yorktown. Here's what I'm talking about. Daniel Morgan knew his army. He knew what the sharpshooter, the skirmishers, typically and traditionally did. And he didn't ask him to do any more than that. I know you guys want to fire 2 shots and get the hell out of the way before the cavalry shows up. So what do I want you to do? I want you to go stand right up there on that hill. I want you to fire 2 shots. And when they run at you, I just want you to run away. Because then I got my regular militia guys. And I know what you militia guys are good at. You're good at throwing 2 to 3 volleys. You're going to get charged and you're going to run away. So you know what I'm going to ask you to do? That. I want you to throw 2 or 3 volleys at their officers, take down as many officers as you can, and then they're going to bum rush you, because I know my enemy too. And when they bum rush you, I want you to run away. Just run back to the woods. I'll tell you what to do after that. And they do that. And then he knows his Continentals. And he knows what they're capable of. And he knows they can fight the Brits, especially when the Brits have no officers. So by the time the British and Bannister Charleston get up to the third line and realize, oh, damn, it's the real army. It's the soldiers, the guys that are trained and drilled to do this, it's too late. He's trapped. Daniel Morgan has his militia and his cavalry come from the outside. They completely surround the Brits. The Brits have to give up. Bannister Charlton runs away. Doug Peterson is that same type of dude. Doug Peterson knows what his guys are capable of. He knows what they like to do. He knows what they want to do. He did it with Philly, and it won him a Super Bowl. He knew when Nick Foles came into that game, because Carson Wentz went down, he knew exactly what Nick Foles was capable of. He knew exactly what Nick Foles' tendencies were. He knew exactly what Nick Foles wanted to do. And he ran the Philly offense the way that Nick Foles needed it to be run to be successful. And they won a Super Bowl, right? They won a Super Bowl. That's Doug Peterson. He's Daniel Morgan, man. He knows his troops. He knows what they're capable of, and he doesn't ask them to do anything else. One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of American commanders made early in the Revolution was they lined up their militia and they treated them like a regular army. We want you to go to the right, and I need you to hold that line. Well, as soon as the Brits charged regular militia, the regular militia cut and run because they were getting slaughtered. Yet the American commanders, Horatio Gates, etc., kept putting militia as a front line and expecting them to be soldiers. They're not soldiers. They never were soldiers. They were never trained to be soldiers. They don't know how to be soldiers. Then Daniel Morgan got a hold of them, and he went, I don't need you to be soldiers. He told them, 2 shots and you're free. That's literally told them, 2 shots and you can leave. And he knew that if they got off 2 shots and ran to the woods and then they watched the battle play out and played out the way he planned on it, that they would come back. They would help. And they did. He was right. He knew his troops, and he knew his troops would work that way, and they did. And they did. Right? Trevor Lawrence has a gift. Everybody looks at Herb as Horatio Gates, a man who did not know his troops. He did not know the terrain. He did not know the fighting style. He did not know what they were capable of, and he asked too much. It was all about him. It was all about glory. It was all about commissions. It was all about awards. It was all about medals. And he showed up, and he didn't know his troops. He didn't know what the battle plan was. He didn't know the terrain. All he knew was, I can become a legend if I'm successful. And he failed miserably because of it. Doug Peterson, I'm not trying to say Doug Peterson's as good as Bruce Arians or Andy Reid or Sean Payton or any of these other top-tier coaches. What I'm saying is Doug Peterson has a knack for knowing his troops. And he knows the terrain, and he knows the fight style, and he doesn't appear to be, as of now, in it just for personal glory. So you've got an opportunity here if you're Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson is not going to ask you to go outside of your comfort zone, except to maybe push you to get better. But he's not going to send you out there with a failing game plan because he doesn't know what your correct game plan is or what your game plan that you are capable of. That is a gift to Trevor Lawrence. TL16 has a second-year opportunity that not a lot of other rookie coaches get. Not a lot of rookie quarterbacks, not a lot of rookie quarterbacks get a second year where they failed their first year and everybody goes, hey, it's not your fault, right? You didn't come close to expectations, but it's not your fault. That wasn't on you. You had a bad general. You had a bad coach. Trevor got that. Now there's a little bit of Lonzo that keeps defending Herb, and I get that. But all of that being said, Lonzo, as convoluted and as history lecture as it may have sounded, do you feel like what I'm saying about TL16's second year holds water?
We've been saying this for a while. And yeah, I think Urban is, I don't want to say scapegoat. He is the reason that no one looked at Trevor Lawrence. But here's the problem. If Trevor Lawrence struggles this year, they're going to say, well, it's a brand new offense and he's still got to put the whole Urban Meyer mess behind him. It's going to take a little while. I think excuses will be made over and over again if he's not as successful as he was projected to be. And in the end, if he's going to be successful, it's probably not going to be in Jacksonville because it just doesn't happen there.
You might be right. I might be crazy. TL just might be the lunatic I'm looking for. Here's the thing. You are absolutely correct to some degree. There is very little success in Jacksonville. They went to an AFC title game in 1999, 98, whatever it was, and that was the last of it. Lonzo, you might very well be right. It may just be that TL's not good. However,
by the way, I didn't say he wasn't good.
No, you didn't.
There are expectations when he came in of him being the next big thing, and he wasn't last year. And I had problems with some of his game in college. When he played really good defenses, he struggled. There were a couple times when he won games just because he was able to run. And the speed is different in the NFL.
Oh, it is. Here's the other part of that gift. Trevor Lawrence has now had something. Trevor Lawrence is coming into, as far as I am concerned, and I've already been told I'm making excuses for him, and that's fair, but I disagree. Trevor Lawrence is coming into, as far as I'm concerned, his rookie year. All right? I don't count his Herb year. Trevor Lawrence is coming into his rookie year. This is his first year as a real quarterback, real coach.
I disagree with you there because one of the biggest problems seems to be acclimating yourself to the speed of the game and all that kind of stuff in the NFL. He's had that. It wasn't like he was sitting on the bench watching someone else play. He played the entire season, and he did improve near the end of the year, but I don't consider this his rookie year because if you look at it that way, then every time someone gets a new coach, it's like their rookie year, which could be a little bit, but nah, he's not a rookie. Will he be Marcus Mariota? Will he be Jameis Winston? Will he be some of these guys who had such high promise coming into the league and they've just been kind of mediocre? I mean, they're not horrible. Those guys are not out of the league, but they never met the expectations that were put on them because of what they did in college.
That is 100% true. TL did not live up to expectations last year. But like I said, I am willing to say that's at the feet of Urban Meyer. That's how bad he was at that job.
Will he be the best quarterback in Florida in the NFL this year?
Well, no, because Tom Brady's there. Will he be the best quarterback not named Tom Brady in Florida? I don't know. Because remember, Tua's got Tyreek now. That's a big pickup. And Miami should be pretty good. Here's the thing. Jacksonville's got Doug Peterson. And that, to me, is the biggest upgrade in head coach in decades. You know what they don't have is a different team. It's still the same team that was out there.
Right.
Still the same players that were out there. TL16 still got to work with the exception of the addition of Christian Kirk out of Arizona. They've still got the same team out there, and TL's got to deal with that. But what does TL have if you are, as I am, going to consider this Trevor Lawrence's real rookie season? What does he have that other rookie quarterbacks don't have? 17 games of this is how fast the league is, son. 17 games of this is the speed we play at in the big leagues. 17 weeks of this is what the travel schedule is like. This is what the NFL world feels like. He's got 17 games, 18 weeks of this is how the speed of the NFL works and the NFL life works. Now you got to go learn the football side of it because you didn't get taught that by Herb.
But there are guys, there have been, especially in the quarterback position, who had bad coaches early on, and then for the rest of their career, they're able to say, oh, what they could have been if they hadn't started out with this guy. And no one ever puts it on the players themselves that they weren't able to rise above whatever the coach did to damage them.
All right, we'll come after that later on as we get closer. Jacksonville going into training camp this week as well. What do you reasonably but sincerely expect out of Trevor Lawrence this year? Clemson fans, looking at you. I know a lot of you guys have become, kind of Clemson South. What do you expect out of TL16? Madre just texted the show, Lonzo. She says, why does it appear Lonzo's soul leaves his body when the name Tom Brady is said? Because every time we say it, Tom Brady steals a little bit of Lonzo's soul. That's why. He just saps the life force from 800 miles away.
I did have to take a breath.
Yeah.
I did, it does bother me. Yes.
Yep. Texter says, Professor Brown in the mother humping house. I like that. Lonzo, I love my analogy. My analogy was good. All right? It was deep, but it was good.
It was very, very deep.
But it was good.
It was,
It
yes.
was spot on.
Yeah.
Every one of you went,
I enjoyed the history lesson. It was awesome.
Go to Cowpens. You'll learn more. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Let's take a break. Back after this. Rob Alonzo, you wrap it up hour 2 after this on The Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
All right, so I was specifically thinking of Tua. Wasn't thinking of Tom Brady because I never do. Tom Brady only enters my mind when someone says his name.
When I put him in there. I don't apologize.
Thought that cheater retired.
Playing touch football with kids. Like your kids or just like any old kids?
So, James, without looking it up, I don't remember how many games Jacksonville won last year. I'm guessing it wasn't very many, but 6 wins seems about right. Is that enough of an improvement for you, Rob, if they win? If they win 6, it would double. It would double, yes. And again, Trevor improved by the end of the year. He definitely did. You're laughing too hard. It probably is directed at me more than likely.
How is it not? You have a promo about that. Which you, at this point, I'm assuming, regret.
I don't even remember what you're talking
The
about.
Gronkowski promo.
Oh, okay.
69.
Oh, 60. Okay, no. Again, that just was.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, James.
That was so 6 months ago.
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Or
It's
whenever
still,
that was.
It's still hilarious.
It no longer plays. So, I mean, you know.
Did you take it out? Boo. Boo.
I have directives. I have a boss.
Boo. You know, every now and then. You ever had somebody agree with you, Lonzo, that when they agree with you, you're like, oh, no, I wish anybody but you agreed with me. You ever had that happen to you? Of course you have. We work in radio.
Yeah. If someone like from 3 to 7 were to agree with me, it always no. Now maybe I need to re-examine the way I'm looking at this.
In the case of somebody agreeing with me because I'm right, but dag nabbit, I wish it was anybody else that agreed with me.
Wow, you just went dag nabbit.
Well,
I've never heard that. Almost 2 years of working with you. That's the first dag nabbit.
No, because I say dag gummit.
Yeah.
Old Coach Bobby Bowden.
Yeah.
Dag gummit.
Daggum.
Dag gummit. Somebody in power agreed with me, and I wish it was anybody else. I have told you guys that I believe that every single National Football League stadium should be domed. Every one of them. There should be 0 outdoor NFL games. None. No NFL games should be played in the elements.
Ridiculous
None.
take. Ridiculous to the point of It hurts me that you really believe that. It does.
You will get over it.
I don't know. I may not.
Listen. Every NFL stadium should be domed over because I don't want to know who doesn't slip in the mud the best. I want to know who plays football the best. I don't want to know who can catch a slippery football in the rain the best. I want to know who can throw and catch the ball the best. I want to know who the better football team is, not who the better weather management team is. All right? I just do.
Football is weather, man. Stop it. It's not baseball. No. It's come on.
What do you mean? Baseball plays outside all the time.
Football is about the elements.
No.
It should be about the elements.
No.
There's the frozen tundra.
Is dumb and bad.
Your take is dumb and bad.
Chicago is looking not necessarily to replace, but to upgrade Soldier Field. Of course, every NFL team's looking to upgrade their stadium. Always are, right? Well, in a presentation about the potential ideas for upgrading Soldier Field so that the Chicago Bears will maintain their home for the last, 60 years or whatever? Chicago had presented this weekend 3 proposals from the city of Chicago about the future development of Soldier Field. Now, they obviously included adding more sections of bleachers, adding more on-out ramps, adding more concession stands and bathrooms, yada, yada, yada. But there were 3 plans presented, all of which would dome over Soldier Field. One plan would fully enclose the stadium by rebuilding both end zones with a column at each corner that would support a dome structure to be constructed over Soldier Field. Now, this dome structure could be left opened around the outside, Lonzo, so it would still be cold. It just wouldn't be snowy and icy on the field. Sweet. The second idea...
Not sweet.
Super sweet. The second idea would require both end zones to be rebuilt with columns to make the stadium dome ready. So this would effectively add columns that go to the outside of the stadium and would dome it entirely over. And the third option calls for modifications to make Soldier Field a multi-purpose stadium suited to host soccer games while also making it a viable location to accommodate major concerts and a range of venues, blah, 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 blah. The idea is let's stick 4 big-ass concrete posts in the ground outside of both end zones and build a roof that covers up the entirety of Soldier Field. And these were presented by Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Now, for those of you who don't pay attention to politics, good for you. For those of you who do, even Liberal the Woke Warrior, not a big fan of Lori Lightfoot, all right? Just not a big fan. Not at all. Not a big fan. This is one of those times where I'm like, oh, the idea is so good, but I wish it would have come from anybody else. Like, anybody else.
See, I was waiting to hear that the idea came from the mob. Because, put in columns down. Who's buried in those columns? That's, we got Rico over there.
Hey, this is the Jimmy Hoffa Memorial column over here. That's a New York gangster. I don't know what's the Chicago mob say.
Hey, the family spreads out a little bit.
Guys, this is the Jimmy Hoffa Deep Dish Memorial column over here. This is the definition of a great idea, and I wish Barack Obama would have come out with this idea. It would have been better received. It's the greatest idea for Chicago sports by the worst person who could have presented it. But that being said, dome over all outdoor stadiums. Lambeau, dome it over. Soldier, dome it over. Whatever they're calling the one out in Seattle now, CenturyLink or whatever, dome it over. Dome them all. Dome Ray J. Dome the Gardens. Dome them all. Even the Florida ones, dome them all. 1 hour left. Hit it hard when we come back on the Rob Brown Show with the Fan Upstate.
Hey, Rob, you know what day it is?
It's Tuesday! And you know what that means. It's time for Lonzo's favorite segment of the week, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Faces.
If you're out there and you're watching on the stream, you know, maybe not live, maybe later, and you're thinking, I've always wanted to, you know, give my hand at radio. Just remember, math is very important. They don't tell you that, but math, very important in radio. If you see me, my hand under my chin, looking at the screen, I'm adding time. Not like, you know, putting more time in, but, you know, doing addition. Which some days is a struggle. Yay, math.
Luke, welcome back, buddy. Good to have you, pal.
We have a more precise clock at the end of the hours now on this station and on WRD, so it requires a lot of math. And when I'm training some of the new kids when they come in,
The babies.
yeah,
The
the look on their face when I tell them they have to add time. I mean, to the point where, and I get it. I mean, sometimes they get a piece of paper, if that. But just remember, you've got to do this very fast. Especially sometimes hosts can be a little long-winded and go longer. Not in here though.
The audacity.
Yeah. Sometimes they go a little long, and it's like, okay.
The sheer audacity of that claim is upsetting.
Luckily, I have Jethro level ciphering skills, so I'm good.
Bing, 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 bing.
I don't know if I'm sad that some people don't know who Jethro is. You know?
Played a hell of a flute.
He was a Hollywood mogul for a while. What a horrible realization when you watch something as a kid and realize that you never watched it live, that it was a rerun by like 10 years when you were watching it.
My little friend. Does anybody love Zoom, or do we just all use it? That's not true. We did for a while, Lonzo. We did cocktail hours on Zoom. Like I'd have a bunch of the old band would get together on Zoom and we just hang out. That's how we kept up with each other. That's pretty cool.
I just take that as a reminder that I don't have friends, but I appreciate it, Rob. Thank you. Oh, look at that. It's the beginning of a new hour.
I'll be darned. Dag nabbit.
I realize how old I am when Nick at Night starts airing 90s programming. Yeah.
Yeah, to say that's not painful would be a lie. The fact that when I grew up, Nick at Night was Beverly Hillbillies and I Dream of Jeannie, and now Nick at Night is like shows that I watched when they were live on TV. It's a relatively constant reminder of ow, everything hurts.
I was going to say, it goes along with your aching bones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they go hand in hand.
My knee hurts. Must mean Saved by the Bells on Nick at Night now. Welcome back. The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. What's up, Upstate South Carolina? Hello, America. What's shaking world? Great to be back with you guys. 60 more minutes of sports talk excellence starts right this very second. I am Rob Brown. He is the great one, the Wizard of Wave, the Professor of Perfection. Lonzo is at the board today. A few more things I want to get back into on the radio broadcast today, but I want to play it. I want to play it one more time. Can I get that Ian Rapaport audio back? It kind of now. I won't do the whole segment on it like we did last time, but I absolutely do want to riff on it again because I love it so much.
I just want to, before he plays this, if you're watching on stream, I've got to be prepared for it. So I'm going to be prepared.
Ian Rapaport.
I was sticking my bottom lip out for those of you just on radio.
Which, by the way, if you're not watching the stream, you should join us on the stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate or like and subscribe to the Rob Brown Show YouTube channel. The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. Click the old thumbs up button, so the subscribe button, and you can go behind the scenes and watch Lonzo and I do the show live every single day, plus have some ridiculous conversations off the air. You think the ones we get into on the air are weird? Hit the stream, have some fun with us.
I don't know. Last segment, we were talking a lot about math, but, you know, Rob got to talk about history, so I
suck it, man.
To feel smarter, I needed to talk about math.
Texture says, after that rejoin, ACC Karen is cringing somewhere.
You know, I was thinking the same thing. Of like, no. For part of it, she was okay. The first part, I was starting to say, what is there an ACC producer here in the room somewhere? What's going on here? But then you brought back the life, so we're good.
Oh, man. Ian Rapaport talking about Kyler Murray's guaranteed money in his contract.
Meanwhile, another interesting contract situation. Kyler Murray, of course, officially signed his $230.5 million contract. It is now official. It is done, which means we can get a look at some of the language. And there is a clause in there that is fascinating. It is essentially an independent study clause. There's a picture you see of Kyler signing. The clause that I'm talking about now essentially guarantees, forces Kyler Murray in writing to study at least 4 hours per week on his own independent study of game film. Now, teams can check their tablets and see if players are studying. They can see if players are doing the homework. A lot of teams do that and keep track of it. That is essentially what the Arizona Cardinals are doing. They're saying if he does not study for 4 hours per game week, then he is in default of his guaranteed money. Now, from my understanding, obviously this is something that any player would want in a contract, but Kyler Murray certainly understood how important it was for the Arizona Cardinals to know that he is making the same commitment to them as they are making to him. So he agreed, and that is why there is some give and take in contract.
How classic. Kyler Murray has a do your homework clause. Kyler Murray has a no allowance if you don't do your homework clause.
But I don't want to. I want to play Fortnite. What the kids are playing these days still, I think, or should I have said Call of Duty? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if Fortnite's still a thing.
Yeah, but
you know what
Kyler looks more like a Fortnite guy than he does a Call of Duty.
You are correct. You know what I threw on the Xbox last night finally? Halo Infinite. Finally put the Halo multiplayer on I suck at it. I suck at everything, but I really sucked at Halo.
Well, there are those guys who pay microtransactions and get better stuff, and they snipe you. And
I ain't about that.
It was fun for a little while, and then you realize, to me, if you can't win a game, then it's just not. Yeah.
I mean, I disagree with that, but I get what you're saying. Kyler Murray has a do your homework or get no allowance clause where if he doesn't do 4 extra hours of film study on his own, and by the way, the contract language says away from team organized meetings, right? So he's got his game film study with the coaches, with the team, and then he's got to do 4 additional hours of game film study on his own iPad or tablet or whatever at the house away from the team. And if he doesn't do his 4 hours a week through the season, he is defaulted of the $160 million guaranteed of his $250 million contract. So, this is one of those things that the only takeaway here, Lonzo, the only question about this is who is more embarrassed in this situation? Kyler Murray, that the Cardinals had to put a do your homework or no allowance clause in his contract, or the Arizona Cardinals that they just extended a kid for $250 million that they have to tell to, do basic quarterback stuff. Just do the basic QB stuff if you want this dinero.
I think the bigger embarrassment obviously is on Kyler Murray's part. And if you're him, you've got to be kind of mad that this was out there. I mean, you did sign the contract because that's a lot of money. So you're going to sign that contract. But how many times is Kyler Murray going to be asked that question? Not just that, but how many times is he going to be teased by his own teammates? Hey, Kyler, did you do your homework last night? I mean, think about it. You and I would be relentless in that locker room about the homework.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yes. I would never let it go. Look, like I said, I'm not going to do a whole segment on it, but if you don't think I've got 5 or 6 minutes of jokes in me about Kyler Murray has history homework before he's allowed to play with his playdate on Sunday, I can do 3 hours of jokes on that. It's just so good, man. It's so good.
Did the powers that be go, okay, you gave us a rough offseason. We're going to make you pay for this money because everybody's going to come at you with this, including, didn't even think about signs in visiting stadiums.
Yeah. Are you kidding? They just put the heckling on a silver platter for him, right?
Just so we can have some amazing reporter go, Kyler, were you affected by the signs in the stadium?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you read the signs? Yes.
And
next
then
question.
Kyler will say, that's a stupid question.
Oh, man. Like, just try to think about that. You're an Arizona Cardinals fan. You got Kyler Murray in the fold. You extend this cat for $250 million, and you had to write it into his clause that he spends 4 hours. Which, by the way, if you're a Cardinals fan, you also watch 4 hours of football a week, right? They are basically asking him, that game you played? We need you to watch it one more time.
So,
just watch it one more time.
I am curious about what the timeline is that he has to. I mean, when is the start time and the end time that he has to get this done? Is it by walkthroughs on whatever day they do walkthroughs? I mean, when does he have to have it done? Because it's not 4 hours a day, it's 4 hours a week. So you can go, 15, 20 minutes, like in the morning and 15, 20 minutes in the evening, like for a couple days, and you're done.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I got to think if you're Kyler, it's just like, all right, I got to do 1 hour a day, right? Like this may shock you. Lonzo, and when I say this may shock you, I mean you mean Lonzo here. Rob is a procrastinator at times.
Man, I'm not going to deal with this falsehood being spread in this room.
Rob's a procrastinator at times. And even Rob knows.
By the way, did you get that thing written yet?
Yes, I did.
Cool.
Rob knows if I have a job that is going to take 4 hours to do, I just do like 45 minutes a day, and that's it. What's 45 minutes? It's easy. I do 3 hours of this every day. What's 45 more minutes, right? Just do 45 minutes every day. You're good. That's all they want, Kyler. 45 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. Just 45 minutes of you and an iPad.
So let's say if you had a nationally syndicated radio show on Saturdays.
4 hours long, let's say.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Same amount of time.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That you do some prep every single day leading up to that.
Like if I knew,
you're ready if you did something like that.
I knew that if I had a 4 hour nationally syndicated baseball show, I might watch 45 minutes of baseball every day. Just to keep up. I mean, it's just a thought.
At the minimum.
Kai, do your homework, Kyler, or no play date for you on Sunday. What a joke. Imagine, man, if I was a radio host in Phoenix today, I'd be having a field day with this. Are you kidding me? I'd be having a field day. All right, let me switch topics for a minute. Gary Parish covers NCAA basketball for CBS Sports Radio. All right, he covers college shooty hoops. And he put up an article. Talks about recruiting for college basketball in the age of NIL and the transfer portal. Now, golly, how many conversations have we had about NIL and transfer portal and how it impacts recruiting and scholarships and guys sticking on your team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. 100, 1,000. And so many of you guys have said it's the end of college sports as we know it. Recruiting's going to suffer. Blue bloods are going to suffer. Whoever. Well, Gary Parish wrote an article discussing 2023 recruiting in the landscape of college basketball. And about 3 paragraphs down, it says this, quote, "So guess which 2 programs now have the top 2 recruiting classes in 2023? Now, if you're playing the Rob Brown Show Home Edition, grab your pen and paper and take the quiz. As of today, with NIL, with transfer portal, what are the number 1 and the number 2 ranked recruiting classes in all of college basketball? Lonzo, take a stab at it. Just give me one of them.
I'm going to go North Carolina and Duke.
You are 1 for 2. Duke and Kentucky. North Carolina
okay.
is shortly behind them. Guys, nothing is changing. The Blue Bloods are still going to get very high caliber recruits.
Some would say that the money really hasn't changed there, though. It's just now.
Some would say.
It's just now legitimate.
But if you did not gripe about it before NIL was on the table, then I don't want to hear you gripe about it now like it's the end of the world. If you did not just have an issue, if you did not actively speak out against, I want to make it sound more ominous, Lonzo. If you did not speak out against dark shadow recruiting money. If you didn't speak out about shadow money when
to
shadow
get
money
some
was happening.
ominous music other than Terminator theme
Yeah.
for stuff like that.
Yeah, we need some horror music thrown in there. If you if you did not gripe and complain about the shadow money in recruiting before NIL, I don't want to hear it now, right? The only thing is now it's a little easier for the not 5 stars to get into the game. But Duke and Kentucky had the top 2 recruiting classes in 2014 and 2015 and 2016 and 2017 and 2018. They were inside the top 4 in 2019, 2020, and now 2021. 2021 and now 2022. They've always been at the top. Nothing has changed. Why is it that Duke and Kentucky and North Carolina, by the way, 2 of those 3 schools, Alonzo, with brand new head coaches. Mike Krzyzewski is gone. Roy Williams is gone. Yet Duke and North Carolina are still going to, even without G.G. Jackson, a Gamecock now, Duke and North Carolina are still going to pull in top 3 or 4 or 5 at worst recruiting classes. Why? Because those programs have done so much to create an atmosphere about them that kids will still say, I want to be a part of that, right? I want to be there. I want to be able to say I was a Tar Heel. I was a Blue Devil. I was a Wildcat. I want to say I played in Rupp. I want to be able to say I played at Chapel Hill. I want to say I played at the Field House, right? Those programs have created an atmosphere where these kids want to be involved. They want to be there. How many times have I told you over the past handful of weeks? You were at a point with the NIL, with the transfer window, especially, by the way, if the NCAA goes through with the letter they put out last week, that they are considering getting rid of transfer portal limits, right? You can transfer as many times as you want, transfer every year if you want to. Now, if they decide to go that direction, right? If they decide to go that direction, you are still going to be in the same spot. You've got to create a space that kids want to be in. They want to be a part. You give them a reason to stay there. You give them a reason to be a part of whatever it is that you are doing. Kids want to be at Kentucky. They want to be at Carolina. They want to wear a Duke. They want to wear the various shades of blue. Question is, can Lamont Paris create an atmosphere in South Carolina where kids want to wear the garnet? Can Brad Brownell or whoever replaces him next year, maybe, create an atmosphere in Clemson where kids want to wear the orange? That's how you win nowadays. And Gary Parish just pointed it out. Look at Kentucky, look at Duke, look at North Carolina. The same 3 teams are on top. Why? Because they have created an atmosphere that kids want to be a part of. Whether it's for the coach or the school, they created an atmosphere kids want to be in. Nobody's transferring from those schools unless they just are never going to see the court. In which case, why do you need them on the team anyway? Replace them with somebody who will. Let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. Got plenty more to get into on the Rob Brown Show. Rob Ncaa, it's the Fan Upstate.
Where's my...
All right, be right back, kids.
for Nick Cage's accent.
Oh yeah.
I guess it's a Texas accent. I'm not sure, but
It's like generic, mediocre Southern accent that he just pulls off somehow.
yeah. By the way, Stream, if you haven't seen it, there's a video out there of Aaron Rodgers arriving to camp, and he looks just like Cameron Poe from Con Air. It's pretty amazing.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. You can't use siren sound effects.
I mean, the star power on that plane,
Oh yeah.
all those guys. I mean,
Attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same.
I think the dude that's like his friend on there, I think that's the guy who played Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Chappelle's in that movie.
Yeah.
Buscemi's in that movie. It is amazing in it. John Malkovich is
Yeah,
in that movie.
Malkovich is-
Cyrus the
yeah.
Virus.
Yes. And you already mentioned Buscemi, who was
Yeah.
that was
So
so
creepy in that
very
movie.
creepy.
Everything about that movie is great. Who's the cop?
John Cusack.
Cusack, yeah.
And the other guy who's with him is a guy from Star Trek, the Deep Space Nine, the guy that played the engineer, whose car ends up.
He tosses him the keys at the end.
Also, his wife, if I remember, is someone famous too. Ving Rhames,
Yep.
Danny Trejo was in it.
Danny Trejo is in that movie. That's right. Oh man. It is time for Lonzo's favorite segment of the week. It is time for Faces and Heels, where we take a look at some socially ambiguous situations and try to figure out who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's the face, who's the heel. It's time for Faces and Heels. And Lonzo, I have to start off with one from my own life.
Oh no!
It's about me.
Oh no!
I know. And I want you and all the people, because this is the most texted segment of the week every week. Preferred Home Services text line 71307. I want your face and your heel on the text line from every one of these situations, but I start with one about me. And if I'm the heel, I'm the heel. I accept it.
By the
I
way,
revel in it.
if you are just coming into town and you're at Panther Camp and you're a professional football player and you would like some counseling, we are available at some point. We don't have a couch though, but we'll come to you.
Yeah, 100%. Faces and heels. Here we go. One from my own life. On Saturday until 5 p.m., I host a nationally syndicated radio broadcast. Bet for the Cycle live on the BetQL network and on fine Odyssey stations worldwide. Now,
Your co-host is someone who's pretty famous.
Cody Decker, former MLB player. He is on MLB Network. He's everywhere. So, the lady friend has asked me to go with her to and if she's listening, I'm not going to get myself in trouble, because for the record, she has not voiced anything on this yet, and this is why I'm asking. I end my show at 5. You guys know that I go to Greenville Triumph soccer matches whenever they're at home. It is one of my, like, it's one of the few times that I get to go to a sports event and not work it, right? Like, I work the Rabbits games, when we're going to camps and stuff like that, when I'm doing all of this stuff, I'm working. So I'm not really, like, I'm enjoying the sport, but, like, I got other stuff on the brain. Triumph games are one of the few, Triumph and Drive games are really the only times that I'm like, okay, I'm not working. Even when I go to, like, a Braves game, I'm still kind of working because I want to bring you guys with me, right? So I'm, like, getting content to post up on the website and post on the Twitter sphere and all that. So the Triumph games are kind of like my one time that I get to just go be a fan. I get to sit in the section. I get to knock back brewskis. I play the snare drum. I'm just a fan of a team. She asked me a few weeks back to go to it's not a baby shower. It's just a we're having a baby party, right? It's not a shower because baby showers are dumb and overrated. It's not a shower. It's just a baby party. One of her friends is.
By the way, I disagree. Baby showers are not dumb and overrated. It's a chance for a new mother to receive gifts from friends,
Amazon
which really helps them out.
FedEx it to you.
And there's a camaraderie and all that.
I got nothing for baby showers. The next time I show up and they're like, let's see who can put a diaper on the cat the fat. No, I don't do any of that.
Guys aren't supposed to go to baby showers. So
that's what I'm saying. They're not for me. And if you like baby showers, have a blast. I'm not judging you for it. It's just they suck from my perspective.
This is Faces and Heels. You're a face if you encourage a baby shower because you know what happens when the significant other goes to a baby shower? More video game time for you.
Right. No, except for here's the thing. Now, this one's not a shower. I specifically asked her. I'm like, is this a... Texter says, Rob is the heel for sure. No need to finish the situation. Let me anyway, though. All right? Let me anyway, though. Because I didn't propose not going, right? So I'm off the air at 5, and she asked me to go to this thing at 5:30, right? She's like, will you go with me to 5:30? Now, I have only met the new parents in passing like twice, but the parents are big fans of mine. Her mom and dad, big fans of mine. I've met them a couple of times for various reasons. They listen to the show. I hope they're not listening right now because I'm going to sound like a real jerk. So I guess I'm the heel. But anyway.
If they listen to the show, they've already formed their opinion about you. Yes.
But they're fans of mine. So she's like, will you go? And here was my answer. My answer was yes. And she's like, do you have a Triumph game? I'm like, yes. And she's like, are you going to skip it to go to that? And my what's the word I'm looking for? A compromise here. My compromise, Lonzo, was I will go to the event from 5:30. I will leave at 6:35, 6:40, which puts me at Triumph Stadium at 7 in time for the match, right? I'll skip the tailgate. I will skip the tailgate, and I will go straight to the game. I got no issue with that. I'll go for like an hour and a half, an hour to an hour and a half. I feel like that is sufficient baby shower that's not a baby shower time, right? And I'm showing my face. I'm there for an hour and 20 minutes at the bare minimum. Like, I don't know what to talk about for an hour and 20 minutes at a baby event. Now, if people want to come up and start talking sports, cool, I got you. But, does anybody want to talk about sports with me at a baby shower? I don't think that's going to be the case. If that's the case, I mean, I can talk about anything with anybody. But I said I will go for from 5:30 till 6:40, 6:45, and then I'll leave and go to the match. That's an hour and 20 minutes that I'm at this event. I feel like that's a fair compromise, but am I the heel for saying I will bail like an hour before the thing is over to go to a soccer match that I want to go to? Or because, and here's where I will stack the deck against me here, Lonzo, the girlfriend does not ask me to go to a lot of things, right? She invites me to a lot of stuff. And if I don't want to go and I go, I don't really want to go to that, she's usually like, yeah, no worries, cool, fine. And it's the other way too, right? Like I do a lot of stuff I invite her to. She says no. And I'm like, no worries, I'll do it solo. I'm totally fine with that. We're cool to be apart from each other. Right? But she doesn't specifically go, I really would like you to come to this event with me very often. And I do ask her to award ceremonies and forums that I'm emceeing, etc. So because she specifically asked me to go to this event with her, is proposing that I stay for an hour and 20 minutes and then leaving for a soccer match. Am I the face or the heel here? Lonzo and everybody on the text line at 71307, start your text with fan. I'm opening up, I'm risking trouble here to ask you guys, am I the heel for proposing to leave an event she asked me to go to after a little over an hour to go to an event that I want to go to elsewhere?
All right, so if it were something that you were being paid to do and were expected to be at, then I would say it's fine. But if it's something that she asked you to go to and she doesn't do that often, then I think you're obligated to go and stay the entire time. So, yes, you are the heel.
So I am the heel for saying I will go to this event with you. I will stay at this event with you for an hour and a half, and I'm leaving for a soccer match. I should stay until 8 and then either go to the last half of the match or just miss the match entirely because, and I will acknowledge again, she does not ask me to go to or do very much. This is one thing she has specifically asked me to go to. I am the heel for proposing an Irish goodbye to get out early and go to a soccer
All right,
match.
so
I accept if I'm the heel.
Quite often the people in charge of said event listen to this program, and even though I freeze when I talk to them, publicly, I'm sure that they're listening to this and thinking that you're also a heel, even though they would like to see you there, because the smart move is to, I don't know if you would say yes, dear, but just because she asked you to go, you go, and it won't be uncomfortable.
Here's the thing, I am going.
Yeah, but
I'm
you stay.
Not going.
You stay. You absolutely stay. But here's the real reason why you're the heel, because you brought it up on the radio.
Oh, I know.
That makes you a heel for sure.
I'm going to get beat up for this. And I accept it, but my life is an open book. She knows that she knows I talk about her on the show, and I talk about stuff in our live on the show. She's aware of that. I told her that from the beginning. So, again,
and there's also the fact that I'm more afraid of her than I am of you. So I'm going to side with her probably every single time.
I do have this, and I'm going to say this on the radio so that I can play it back to her. I have got one of her family members texting me on the show right now. All right? Her cousin just texted me.
Male?
2. I'm up 2-1.
Male or female?
Male cousin.
Okay.
All right? Male
so,
cousin.
All right.
Male cousin says, "Good call, Rob. This is exactly what I would do. If she balks at you, send her to me." So he's like, you're doing the right thing. You're handling it in an appropriate fashion so everybody gets what they want. And if she balks at it, don't worry, I'll talk her down. Listen, I'm not, and I appreciate the offer, big fella. I'm not going to say his name on the radio because I don't need him being dragged down into heel hell with me for offering.
Well, I'm thinking that it's going to get back to her and she's going to figure out who it is. So,
yeah, she'll know.
So the fact that you read the text.
He's got a position in society. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I don't need the rest,
like us. Yeah,
right,
I get it.
I don't need the rest of his community hearing this on the radio and being like, oh, he's kind of a jerk too, since I apparently am. I thought this would, and again, look, if I'm the heel, I'm skipping the soccer match. Sorry, guys, I can't be there. I love me the triumph. If it ends at 8, I'll come for the second. I will go for the second half.
Here's what you should do, in my opinion. You play it by ear. You go there. And if things are going really well, you know what you won't notice? You won't notice what time it is.
That's entirely untrue. Because what's going to happen
because you've decided you want to leave.
No. Because here's what's going to happen. I may not think about the soccer match. It might be like 6:30, 6:35, 6:40, and I'm not even thinking about it. And then I'm going to get and I'm going to pull up my phone, and it's going to be my app going, Greenville Triumph versus Tormenta FC.
Here's what you should do. Pretend like when you feel that buzz that it's a text from me or just about anybody else, and do what you normally do and ignore it.
I'd take offense, but that's very fair. All right, on the text line, am I the face? Am I the heel here? I proposed a compromise where everybody gets what they want. I go to the event she asked me to go. I'm at that event for an hour and a half, and then I go to the soccer match I want to go to, or do I go and I stay until it's over? In proposing a compromise, am I the heel, or should I just accept that, hey, she asked me to go. She's a fantastic girlfriend. She's everything I could ask for in a woman. And if she asks me to do a thing for her, I skip sports and do that thing because she doesn't ask me to do much. What am I the face of the heel here? Texas says, Rob, nobody stays at baby showers for the entire time unless they are family. Give and go.
And the other thing is, I thought it wasn't a baby shower.
It's not. It's like it's a party. It's just a party. It just happens to be that it's a party thrown by and for a couple who are having a baby.
So there's a shot that you get there and she's like, okay, we've been here long enough. Let's go.
Maybe. So listen, this is going to be the best kind of party. It's a bunch of adults who are out of their wild and crazy dudes face, right? Nobody's banging Jaeger down out of the barrel. We're all going to be standing around with nice cocktails and collared shirts
So
and
you're
talking
lying.
about inflation.
You're lying. This is not the best kind of party for you.
No, it is, because I'm not.
Okay, all
I
right.
can't listen. I don't get hammered anymore.
This is
right?
like back in the days when you went to that whatever that thing was where you had to dress up. And stuff.
Cotillion?
Cotillion, yes. So,
I mean, it's not cotillion. But again, I am of the age where the best kind of party for me is let's have some cocktails. Let's sit around and complain about the world until it's 9 o'clock and everybody's tired, and then let's all go home and go to bed. Unless I'm in the band, in which case I will rage till 4 a.m. I still got it, but just because I got it don't mean I want to use it all the time, right?
well, you got to save it up for when you do. Yeah,
Right, because
I get it.
sometimes I'm going to need it. There's a chance Saturday night after the game is going down, in which case I will need it. But it's the good kind of party where everybody's like, nobody's like introverted, like everybody's cool and extroverted. We're all going to have a couple of whiskeys.
No one like me is going to be
Right.
there. Okay.
We're all
right.
going to be outside drinking whiskey, shooting the boat, having a good time, right? And then at some point around 9, somebody's going to go, that's all for me. And everybody in the room waits for the first guy to leave, right? Once the first couple leaves, you're free to go at that
So you're
point.
going to say that you want to be the hero. You want to be that first guy to go so everybody else, it opens the door for everybody else.
I know good.
You're trying to make yourself into the face when even you yourself know that you're the heel.
I know good and gosh darn well that if I theoretically at 6:30, 6:45 was to go, hey, thanks for the party. I enjoyed it. Congratulations on the baby. I hope everything goes well. If you guys need anything, call us. We'll be there for you. But I've got a jet. That when I hit the door, there's going to be dozens of other, I don't know how many people are going to be there. There's going to be other dudes at this place that are going to be like, honey, Rob left. Can I go? Can I leave now? Can I go? Rob left. Can I go? Rob, can I come with you? Right? And there may be a handful that are like, I've been looking for an excuse to go to a Greenville Triumph game. Rob, I'll just go with you. Right? I know I would
So
be.
now you are the hero that we
I
need.
would be the deliverance for some. That part's probably entirely untrue. I am just saying, these are all super great people. I like them all. I've met them all. They're super great people. I proposed a compromise. Am I the heel for proposing a compromise or the face am I the heel for proposing the compromise or am I the face for proposing
Or
the
are
compromise?
you now going to be stared at when you get there because they heard this entire segment and they know it's going to sound like
Strong
you don't
possibility.
want to be there?
Listen, if you're one of those people, I want you to know I'm absolutely coming. I'm absolutely going to be there. I wouldn't miss it. I wouldn't. An hour and a half. I can't contribute anything more after that. I'm not that entertaining of a person.
I disagree. I find all 3 hours of the show very entertaining Monday through Friday.
Texas said, fan, first of all, when has a man ever been expected to go to a baby shower? It's not a shower. So I will say this. I think a lot of people are getting away with dropping the it is. It's a party though, right? It's like a baby party. I'm in for a party. Shower out. Party, I'm in. Texter said, oh, where'd the other one go? I want to read it before we go. Texter, you should totally go to the event and have all your attention on the lady friend. It will pay dividends. Oh, I'm sure. Except now it won't because I talked about it for 12 minutes. Back after this to wrap up the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Ladies and gentlemen, if you love Journey like I do, Wheel in the Sky keeps... Okay, if you love Journey like I do, then the Gilstrap Family Dealerships Tribute to the Ages is set for you. Trial by Fire. The Ultimate Journey Tribute Band is live at Cowboy Up, 701 Easley Bridge Road in downtown Greenville on Friday night, August 26th. You can hear all of the hits made famous by one of the greatest bands of all time, Journey, and played to perfection by Trial by Fire. You deserve a night out with your family and your friends, so make this it. You can get your tickets to Trial by Fire now at greenvilleconcerts.com. greenvilleconcerts.com. Journey lives on through Trial by Fire at Cowboy Up in Greenville, August 26th. It's a Friday night. It is South Carolina's best live music venue, and they host Trial by Fire, a Journey tribute to the ages. Get your tickets now at greenvilleconcerts.com. Presented by the Gilstrap Family Dealerships.com, the dealer for the people. And yes, stream that I did not turn off, I will be there for that. Bring it. Rob starting a mass exodus, a heel turn that everyone sees coming.
Especially now.
Whatever, segment entertainment. Question is, will I be single when I get home today?
Well, if you are, you won't be going home. So
True, fair enough.
There's that.
Fair enough. Bing, 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 bing. Yo, I kind of got addicted to the in-window air conditioning unit at night because it freezes my room out like a hotel room, and I love it.
Maybe you just got used to the sound.
Oh, that was in! Dagnabbit. Trey said, hey, Rob, 1-800-Flowers. Did that go? Nice. Oh. Second one, you got robbed.
I did. Seen a video of Frankie Lulu arriving. He's got a really big pillow. Hey, man, you got to take your pillow with you.
Oh, 100%. Especially if you got
I don't know what the dorm rooms are like at Wofford. They're probably pretty good, though. And I know they put some, the Panthers have put some money into
the Panthers
it.
took care of everything.
Still not what you're used to, but.
I still want my pillow. 100% still want my pillow. Trey said, "Hey Rob, 1-800-Flowers is your friend." I might be placing an order after the show today. We'll see. Texas said Rob went to a baseball game over the weekend and caught a picture with 8 mullets in the wild altogether. My goodness, if only you had done that back in Mullet May. If only you'd done that back in Mullet May, Steven, that would have been an absolute winner because I would have evaluated everyone. By the way, did I ever officially announce our Mullet May winner? I didn't, did I? I'm a terrible host. I want you to know that the shirt and hat combo is there. I have been waiting, basically, I told you guys we were waiting on the next round of merch to come in. We have received it. We have received our shirt and hat combo. That's all I was waiting on. Do I announce it tomorrow? I think I'll go ahead and announce it tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, if you wait too long, you won't be here. So, yeah.
I think I'll go ahead and announce our mullet. I have a Mullet May winner. Granted, it's July, damn near August, because I'm bad at my job.
If you're wanting to win, though, whenever you get it, you're good with it.
Yeah.
Unless you were planning on wearing it to a wedding or something.
Yeah, so we got the blue shirt and blue hat combo going to our Mullet May winner, which I will announce on tomorrow's show. Let's do that. Let's get them their gear. Somebody won a Fan Upstate shirt hat combo. You will be the winner of Mullet May, the only person that does not work for the Fan Upstate who has the full combo. We gave some shirts away. We gave some hats away. I don't believe we gave shirts and hats together because when we got the first round, we kind of had to save it up. But you'll be the first one. I'll announce it tomorrow.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
All right, time for Twitter Trending Topics, where I tell Rob what is trending on the internet. The first thing but it's trending, so no Vaseline is trending.
Go ahead, Lonzo. Explain that one to everyone.
All right, the only thing I could find out was that it was an Ice Cube song. It was a diss track.
Okay.
I don't know why it's trending. Maybe it was an anniversary or something. I didn't want to delve too far into it.
Oh, I'm going to leave the lyrics right now.
It's an Ice Cube. If it is, you don't want to read the lyrics.
No, 100%. I can't read. I can't even read the lyrics and read them and censor them as I go because it's Cube, man.
So what you're saying is it would be a charcuterie board worth of cheese.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I probably didn't say that right, but I tried really hard.
Who's it a diss track about, though?
I don't know.
Me neither. All right.
All right. The next thing is trending is T'Challa.
So the Black Panther trailer dropped on, what was it, Saturday, I think, at San Diego Comic-Con. The trailer's fantastic. We talked about it a little bit, I think, yesterday. The trailer's amazing. The Iron Heart reference in it is great. Very cool to see Namor the Submariner, and he actually looks like he's going to be cool instead of super duper lame. Pretty pumped about that. And then obviously at the end they have the shot of whoever the new Black Panther is going to be. We don't know yet. We assume Shuri, but we'll find out. That being said, and I'm assuming this is why, Figgy said yesterday in an interview that this movie is a tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, that's what's
it is a tribute to Chadwick, and it is a tribute to the OG Black Panther. And I will tell you, and listen, Chadwick from being from this area obviously connects emotionally, but Chadwick was such a good dude by everybody that I have talked to that knew him and everybody who talked about him after he passed. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, if you cried during that movie, it's okay. Ain't nobody judging you.
Cry during the trailer, it's okay.
Correct.
All right, the next thing that's trending is Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt is trending because Triple H is now in charge of creative, which, by the way, and we didn't even get to this. We may have to get to it tomorrow or Thursday on Fight Club. The reason, there's a new speculation that the reason that Vince retired so suddenly is that the feds are now involved in his case.
Who's your daddy?
And listen, somebody put up a comic yesterday that was like, there's a clip from Batman the Anime Series where Joker's like, I'm crazy enough to take on Batman, but not the IRS, right? And now the feds are involved with Vince's case because now we think he gave away over like $14.5 million. Anyway, he retires. Triple H is in charge of creative, and now there's talk about H will know how to use guys like Johnny Gargano, Killer Karrion Kross, etc. And Bray Wyatt is one of the guys that people are going, if H was in charge of The Fiend, he would have been a dope character. Will they bring him back now that Triple H is sitting in a room with a stack of WWE money ready to give to guys to run it like he did the Black and Gold brand, which was arguably the best wrestling show of the last 20 years. Speaking of wrestling, tomorrow at 10:30 on the show, ladies and gentlemen, his name is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman joining us tomorrow at 10:30. Looking forward to that. Jim Rome's got you next. Mark Ryan and Diesel take you off sides of 3 for Lonzo. My name's Rob. Thank you for listening. Back tomorrow to do it all over again on The Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. All right, guys. Thank you.